Views expressed here are not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Live by the Three Sports Podcast on the Evening Rush Network. This is Coach Matt here with my main man, Ty. What's going on, Ty? How's your week been going?
It's going good so far. How's yours, man?
So far, so good. March Madness is in the air, So, I have my feet up on my desk, flipping back and forth between all the games. So it's a good time of year, If you're a college basketball fan, it's a lot of fun. So, it's great. The first couple, days have been good. Had two big upsets today. So, it's in full swing. So, yeah. So why don't you tell the people where they can catch us and follow the show, social media, streaming platforms, et cetera, et cetera.
You can follow us on Instagram at Live by the Three Sports Podcast, Amazon Fire Stick, download the app with the Evening Rush Network. We're available on all streaming platforms, except for Netflix.
So yeah. One day we'll get there. We get there. Gotta get the views up. So please, everybody, please, as Ty said, please subscribe to the Instagram and the social media pages. Please do download the Evening Rush Network app. A lot of great programming on there to catch other shows, other podcasts, as well as music. So please support and find something else that you're to entertainment wise. What's going on? What happened?
I just read something. Third surgery could cause Lonzo Ball next season.
It's his knee, right?
Left
knee, yeah. Wow, left knee too, and he's a righty. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, all right. Well, hope it gets better for him. That's never want to see that. He's a talented guy, and hate to see injuries be the cause of someone not to reach their full potential, but hopefully it works out for him. So yeah, why don't we jump right into it?
Do Aaron Rodgers? What do you think about Aaron Rodgers? How you feel about that?
Ooh. Aaron Rodgers. Where do you want me to start? You want to start positive, negative? Where do you want me to go with it?
Let's go negative.
Negative? Oh, that's a long list.
Okay, so go positive first then.
Okay. So obviously Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, no question about that. Super Bowl winner. He's one of the greatest to ever do it, arguably the greatest Packer of all time, but he's, from what everybody says, he's a top 5 quarterback all time. Obviously you could argue that. He's 39 years old. So he's up there. So basically, to me, it's obvious this is an all-in move by the Jets, right? Like, all right, like we got a 1 to 2 year window and we're going all in. We're pushing all the chips in. Now, my problem with it is a few things. This dude he's a different dude. Like he got a lot of stuff with him. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know how long this is going to last. It could just be a 1 year thing. And then he decides, hey, I don't want to play anymore. I want to go sit in the darkness and, I'm good, and then we're doing this whole thing again, next year and trying to find a quarterback. I don't know what his commitment level is. Is he just doing it to, because he's owed like $55-60 million, which that's a lot of money to give up. But does he really want to do this? You know what I mean? Like, does he really want to play, or is it just, let me just go through the motions to get this check? That remains to be seen. I think he's a competitive guy, so you would hope that he's coming in with that. But, but there's a lot of little things that are big things. He's older guy, but so is he going to be spending extra time with these young receivers, in the off season, getting a rhythm going with those guys and building that personal relationship and on the field chemistry as well as off the field? Is he going to be at OTAs to get in work with these guys and help, the receivers get on the same page with them, get on the same page with the line? Is he going to play any games in the preseason, which, we're coming, new offensive coordinator, new group of guys he's never played with before. I feel like all of that is necessary, but he's an established guy that hasn't been playing in the preseason and doing all those things with the Packers. Is he going to do that now? He's also a very outspoken guy. Is he, if things aren't going right out the box, is he going to throw everybody under the bus? He's done it before. So, there's a lot of those question marks for me. The talent is obvious, and he's gonna, people say, "Oh, the Jets have had awful quarterback play for so long," and that's 100% true. So yeah, watching Aaron Rodgers out there in a Jets uniform, I'm hoping it's great. But as a Jet fan, you always got to be a little bit pessimistic because a lot of times these situations don't work out for us. Like when we had Brett Favre, oh, it's great. We win all the headlines. Brett Favre in New York, this, that, and the third. We get off to a great start. We're 8-3. And then he blows his bicep out. We miss the playoffs. And then he's going to Minnesota the next year. So it's like, coach gets fired, you know what I mean? And just, just crash and burn. So
is that fair to Brett Favre? If he went and got hurt, would you say it didn't work out?
Yeah, you can't do anything about injuries. I get that. But it's just like, it's one of those things where it's just like something always happens. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So it's like, yeah, on paper, this all sounds great. We got Aaron Rodgers. But at the end of the day, yes, the potential for it working out is tremendous. But is it going to? Not if it's anybody's fault, but it's just like, is our I don't know if destiny is the right word, but is our karma or our mojo, whatever, just for it just not to work out? You know what I mean? Just because it looks too good to be true. You know what I mean? Like that, like that's where my head goes. But I'm a Jets fan, so I'm used to disappointments. So it's like I always want to keep my expectations tempered because it's like as soon as you get too high, that's when the walls come crashing down. So I'm fearful a little bit of it, but I have no choice. Listen, that's my squad. Whoever the quarterback is or whoever we got on the roster, I'm riding with them. So we got Aaron Rodgers. So, I'm on board because I have no choice. I'm not a flip-flopper, but I'm not getting my hopes super up. I'm in wait and see mode to see how it all goes.
So do you think it's worth going all in?
I think the honest truth is because they got Zach Wilson so wrong, they have no choice. Like,
well, that good to go all in?
The young talent is good. I mean, we had the offensive rookie of the year. We had the defensive rookie of the year. Quinnen Williams is a top 5 defensive lineman in at his position. Besides Sauce Gardner, our corners are good. We had a top 5 defense last year. Will that be top 5 next year?
Yeah, top 5?
Yeah, we were top 5. I think we were 4. We were 4. So, so we have a solid defense and we do have good weapons. Like I said, the offensive rookie of the year, Garrett Wilson, and then he probably wouldn't have won it if Breece Hall, the running back, who was a rookie, if he didn't tear his ACL in, I forget what week it was, might've been like week 7 or 8. If that doesn't happen, he was the clear front runner for offensive rookie of the year, even more so than Garrett Wilson. Like he was going to run away with it. So you got 2 guys that are, 2 of the best young players in the league on, running back and wide receiver. So, we got to do some things on the offensive line to clean it up a little bit. But, from a talent perspective, like we're not experienced, now he's looking to add and bring some people, in, like we signed, I think it's Aaron Lazard, the wide receiver that was with him at, in Green Bay. So, and supposedly there's some other guys that he wants to bring in to give a little experience, guys he's familiar with. Allegedly on his not demand list, but his wish list was Odell. I don't know.
20 million. Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man. See, but that's when I see us starting to go in that direction, that's when I get nervous because it's like, here we go with the circus. You know what I'm saying? Now we want to bring Odell in. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Like, it's just too much. That's the type of stuff that makes me nervous. It's just like now we're doing. Of course, you want to add talent, but it's just like all these. Now you got all these personalities and all this craziness, and like I said, and the other thing is Aaron Rodgers isn't like your boy, right? Tom Brady. I felt like the Tampa Bay situation was a little bit different. They had some older guys, and he was the missing piece, and he kind of went in. But even though he's Tom Brady, I felt like he kind of just goes in like, hey, yes, I'm Tom Brady, but I'm diving in to be a part of what y'all are doing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. To me, Aaron Rodgers, it's all about him, all about what he wants to do. It's his show from who's getting brought in, so in the front office to the field, to the locker room, what he wants total control of everything. So now how does that play out with the coaches? How does that play out with the GM? The GM's supposed to be signing who they want, but now he's telling them, okay, but this is who I want. You know what I mean? Like that's how he moves. So how does that dynamic play itself out? If he's not on the same, for now, everybody's on the same page, right? The coaches and all of that. If the coach does something he doesn't like, makes a bad call or whatever the case is, and now, he's the first one to go to the media or whatever, or Pat McAfee and be like, yeah, he, what I mean? Like, that's how he rolls. So now when that happens, now how we go? Does he, undermine the coach, because he's been known to do stuff like that? Does he undermine the GM? So, and with the Jets, it's like, I feel like the media, they're always waiting for that type of stuff. So it's like, it's red meat. You know what I mean? I can just see, like, if it doesn't go the right way, then I could see it going crazy. But I could, but also I could see it starting off 10-0, right? You know what I mean? And it could go, and then everybody goes crazy. And then, but then where do we go from there? It's a lot, man. With
so
that.
Basically, you don't think it's worth it?
I did want Derek Carr. I thought Derek Carr would, now obviously Derek Carr is nowhere near as good as Aaron Rodgers, but he's a lot younger. He's still, I would put him that slightly above the middle of the pack. He may be top 15 quarterback in that range. With our weapons, he's, I think he will relate to the guys a little bit more, and his personality is not like that, where he's just going to come in and try to just run everything. So it'd be more, like a team. I get it, right? Like, I think it would, the personality wise, it probably would go a little bit smoother. And, I think, now just you walking in and say, yeah, we got the best quarterback in this game, maybe 15 out of the 17 games you're playing. No, but, it's, I thought that was the way to go, but that didn't work out. And again, it can't be Zach Wilson. So yeah, you got to go all in. Now, me personally, and I'm not saying they didn't do this, I would have been kicking the tires a little bit more on Lamar Jackson to see if you could get that done. You know what I mean? To see if you could, because if I had my preference, I would rather have Lamar Jackson than Aaron Rodgers. But, maybe
age or
the age, age and just, yeah.
Would you give up your offensive and defensive rookie of the year for Lamar Jackson?
No. Now, and that's the other thing. With a trade, they're going to want more for Lamar Jackson, and would the Ravens be willing to trade him within the AFC? So so that's all part of it. Which is different. Aaron Rodgers coming from the NFC, so it wasn't as much of a conflict in that regard. So it's and there's lots of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And then also maybe the owner was like, no, I'm not. Lamar Jackson wants a guaranteed contract. I'm not doing it. Whether it's his injury history, whatever it is. And, that's pretty much all the owners seem like they don't want to give him a guaranteed contract. So if the Jets,
I think they blackball him.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think it's blackballing him per se, or are they just so mad about the Deshaun Watson situation? Not what Deshaun Watson was doing necessarily, but the off the field stuff, but more so the fact that they gave him $250 million guaranteed. So now every quarterback is like, okay, yeah, y'all, if he got that, that's what I want too. Do you think it's Lamar Jackson, or more they don't want to give out those type of contracts?
I think it's more Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson is way better than Deshaun Watson.
That's true, but I'm not disagreeing with that, but I feel like it's he, in a way, I can't say it's a precedent because he's the only one that has it, but now them dudes is walking in like, yo, okay, y'all saying y'all don't, how come Deshaun Watson got $250 million guaranteed?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I want, and like you said, if I'm better than him, like you just said, if Lamar Jackson's better than Deshaun Watson, then Lamar, that's what I missed. Right. So if you're saying Lamar Jackson is better than Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson got 250 guaranteed, then that validates what Lamar Jackson is saying. Then I deserve it. And the owners just like, I'm not guaranteeing nobody $250 million. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, they could be mad at the situation that Deshaun Watson and the Browns created and say, we can't let this keep going on, because now every single quarterback or every big time player is going to want all that money guaranteed, and it's not good for business.
Look at this. Russell Wilson got 5 years, $245.
Right.
5, 230.5.
Mm-hmm.
10, 450. Josh
Right.
Allen 6, 258.
Right. Right, and that, and that guaranteed money, and then they said with it too, with the guaranteed money, the owners actually have to cash that out. So they have to actually take 250 million cash and put it in an escrow account to guarantee that they get that money, even if it's spread out. But that money, they have to cash that out and have it just sit there. You know what I mean? So yeah, these guys are billionaires, but at the same time, like, dude, I gotta pull out 200, because they're looking at it like, okay, if I got 250 and I got this, I can invest it, I can flip it, I could get some interest on it. They're like, nah, you taking this 250 cash and putting it in a box and it's staying there to make sure that. Well, I don't. They're saying they don't. I don't think he's ever come out officially and said what he wants, the number, right? But I do think the narrative is that he wants Deshaun Watson money or a little bit more, but it's not even about the size of the contract. He wants it all guaranteed. That's
1 year, 3 years, 133.
133, right?
Prescott got 4 years, 160. Daniel Jones got 4 years, 160.
Right. But I don't know if Daniel Jones and Dax is fully guaranteed. That's I think
they are.
Yeah, right. I think that's what the sticking point is. Because I do remember hearing that when Deshaun Watson got that money. Now again, part of it was what.
Yeah, his 3 years fully guaranteed for Lamar Jackson.
So what? So it was 3 over 133. So what's that? My math is terrible. What is that? Mm-hmm. That's like 44, right? Yeah, that's like 44 million, because it's because if you figure 100 divided by 3 is like 33, and then 33 divided by 3 is 11. So yeah, that's like 44. So that's 44 million, a year, 44 million a year. That's about. But if Deshaun Jackson is 50 a year, then he's like, yo, like you said, if I'm better than Deshaun Jackson, then not Deshaun Jackson, Deshaun Watson. If I'm better than Deshaun Watson, I don't want 44. I want 50 a year. Give me 3 years, 150. Maybe we'll talk, guaranteed.
But they said he turned down a $200 million guarantee deal back in September.
Over how many years though?
I don't know.
200. If it's 200 over 6 or something or 200 over 5, maybe he said no.
Yeah. But then, do you think him not having an agent hurts him too?
Yes and no. Obviously he wants to keep all his money in his pocket, but if you're not on the inside, how do you really know what these guys are getting? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all you know is what's reported or who's asking for what. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's almost like your information is, because really the only people that he can't talk to another team. So an agent has the ability to talk to another team. Like, okay, who's offering this? What's going, you know what I'm saying? He technically, he's not a free agent. He's still signed to Baltimore. So he can't ask another team, hey, how much are you offering for this dude? Or how, you know what I mean? He can't have those. He's not allowed to talk to other teams. So all he can really go on is the information that gets reported in the media. And who knows how accurate that is. So the agent at the very least can really get a feel for the lay of the land and who's really getting what offers are really out there, because the agent can talk to other teams. Lamar Jackson can't talk to another team. Can't have a conversation with the GM of another team unless he becomes a free agent. You know what I'm saying?
He can talk to them now.
What's that?
He can talk to them.
Well, how does that work? Because they franchise tagged him, and I know that other teams can make offers, but don't they have to make the offers directly to the Ravens? They can't make them to him. Is it? I'm not sure exactly how.
With the new league year beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, Jackson is a free agent with a large asterisk.
Okay.
So Jackson can speak to any teams that possess their original first round picks for 2003 and 2004. 2023 to 2024.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, now, but here's the thing: like, do those teams give him a real answer, or are they trying to spin him? You know what I mean?
I think they blackball him, man.
Him personally. Now, what base do you think is the situation with him not traveling with the team at the end of the season, or what do you think is, or is it just hey, since you don't have an agent, we're going to try to
maybe a little bit of that. Maybe it's that we're not trying to spend no money, because you got to look at it like this. If I know I don't want to pay him, and I'm a fellow owner, why would I go against the owner?
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, for sure, that's going on, and then that's
like collusion or whatever you call that. What happened?
They might do something about the chat. Someone pissed. Anyway, that's distracting. Distracted me in the chat. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so
yeah.
Now here's the other thing. Is it a little? Yeah, you twisted, my dude. What happened?
No.
Now, do you think it has anything to do with the fact, blackball? But could it possibly be the fact that he's had a little bit of injury history these last couple of seasons?
Yeah, probably.
And I don't know what's up, man. I don't know what's up. Yeah. Now also, right, you have the injury history, but then there's also the thought out there that because he's a quote unquote running quarterback, he's not, in the pocket guy, that number one, he's more susceptible to injuries because of that. And I saw, I don't follow this super closely, but there's a narrative out there that out of the pocket quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls, right? Like that, that you have to be yes, you can scramble a little bit and have that ability, but only pocket quarterbacks are the ones that actually win Super Bowls. You can win an MVP. You can take a team to the Super Bowl like Donovan McNabb and Cam Newton, but the guys that aren't the pocket QBs don't win Super Bowls. So then it's like, okay, you want $50 million a year, but pocket QBs don't win Super Bowls. So then
take the chat.
Yeah, right. So you're getting hurt. Your style of play could lead to you getting hurt more because of the way you're running. So your body might be breaking down, and you're a running quarterback, and running quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls. So why am I giving you $50 million guaranteed?
Well, we just saw a running quarterback win the past Super Bowl.
Well, but no. So I think they try to nuance it, right? Like if you're a pocket quarterback that can run, then you're good. But if you're either a run first or your best attribute is running, then those are the guys that don't win. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes can scramble, and so does Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts lost. But those guys can scramble and run. Like Steve Young. Steve Young could run, but there's it's more so like, okay, you're really good in the pocket and you read defenses and all of that, and then when that breaks down, yeah, you can take off running and pick up a first down. I get that's again, that's I guess maybe a thought that goes through the NFL. So they're like, hey, we don't want to give a guy that's breaking down physically, and because he runs a lot, he's going to get hurt more, like Cam Newton broke down and guys like that. We don't want to give that guy a whole lot of money because we're not even going to win a Super Bowl with him. So he's an MVP, but I don't know.
He's only 25?
Lamar Jackson, because he's still, he's getting towards the end of his rookie.
Yeah, he just turned 26. Yeah,
right. Yeah. So, I mean, it's that's the thing. So, so back to the Aaron Rodgers thing, man. It's like, I'm like I said, I'm forced to be on board because I'm a Jets fan, and I'm not going to lie and say it's not exciting to have Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback. I'm not going to fake that, but I'm just keeping my expectations low. You know what? And if we end up with a Super Bowl, great.
Let me ask you this. So based off of a normal expectation for the Jets, it's not too high, not too low. It's just like whatever in the middle.
For me, because I listen to all the podcasts, I'm Facebook groups and all that. I see how they are. These dudes, they go nuts. You know what I'm saying? And I try to like keep it even because it's just like I see it come crash. I've seen in every situation I've seen it crashing down. So I try to protect myself from that as much as possible.
So what's acceptable for you
with this?
Conference Super Bowl. Like, what do you be like?
That's a great question. Well, so Mark Sanchez, who everybody clowns, right? But Mark Sanchez took us to 2 AFC championship games.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, okay, if you don't take us to the AFC championship game and say, let's say this is only a 2-year deal. I'm thinking it could be really only a 1-year deal. Like I'm prepared for it just to be 1 year. I really am prepared for that. If he even makes it the full season, you know what I'm saying? Like he may not even make it. He might get hurt and be, anything can happen. But I'm prepared for it to be 1 year. But again, Mark Sanchez took us to 2 AFC championship games. So if we get there twice, was it all worth it? I mean, that's hard to say. Like we have the longest play out. They said when the Sacramento Kings make the playoffs this year, the Jets will have all alone the longest playoff drought in all of the major professional sports.
How long is that?
2010. So 13. So 13 years.
Previously held by the Cleveland Browns, right?
Yes, in the NFL, and then Sacramento was up there, but they're going to make it this year. So now we would be all by ourselves if we don't make it this year. So having said that, if we get to the first round of the playoffs, yeah, that's better than what we've been doing, and we break the streak, right? All right, great. If we make it to the AFC championship game, like I said, we did that with Mark Sanchez 2 years in a row, and people clown Mark Sanchez. So if for his legacy or whatever, yeah, and you going all in, I guess, yeah, making it to the Super Bowl is the thing, right? Winning an AFC championship.
So y'all would have to be either Kansas City, Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's tough.
It is tough, but listen, because the reality is with the amount of money that you're spending and all these things that you're doing, it's you're going to be the Rams, or you're going to be one of those teams that win all in. You know what I'm saying? You're spending all this capital, you're bringing all these guys in, using draft picks, doing all of this stuff like that. After this experiment is over, you're in a full rebuild, because now who's your quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Like all of that. And it's going to be better. Now you got to fix your salary cap because you spent a whole lot of money on one person. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to have to do, you're going to be in a rebuild again. That's the reality of the situation. The coach is trying to save his job. The GM is trying to save his job because they picked Zach Wilson and it failed horribly. So it's like, yo, we got to do this. We have to do this. You know what I'm saying? So it's, that's the thing. If he doesn't win and he's out the door in a year or two, everybody's out the door. Coach is gone. GM is gone. It's clean house. So,
I mean, they'd probably be out anyway if he wasn't there.
Yeah, right. But then now who do you lay that on? Is that the coach's fault that the GM picked a bad quarterback? Is that his fault? So who's safe? Or does everybody go?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then we got these nice young players that we all like. You know what I'm saying? Rookies of the year, the Sauce Gardners and Garrett Wilson, all these guys that, the GM did do a good job drafting those other guys. The quarterback was a flop, but and that's the other thing too, that people are speculating, like, Zach Wilson looks up to Aaron Rodgers and they've supposedly got close because we scrimmaged them 2 seasons ago, we scrimmaged them and they got close, exchanged numbers. And so they've sort of built some sort of relationship. So that's another narrative that's out there is, besides it being Aaron Rodgers, that he actually might, because he didn't want to mentor Jordan Love in Green Bay, but that since he has a relationship with Zach Wilson, he actually might want to take him under his wing, help him out, whatever, mentor him. And then 2 years when Rodgers is gone, hopefully Zach Wilson has matured and he's been mentored and now he's ready to take over. And then, we go from there. That's another, I don't know. That's I'll believe it when I see it type thing, but that's a narrative that's being tossed around. So it'll be exciting. Listen, I saw all the replays of all the first takes and all the shows. We was topic number 1 out the box. The Aaron Rodgers announces he wants to play for the Jets. And that whole thing. So it's going to be an exciting offseason. And, they're saying we're probably going to have all the primetime game. I think you're allowed to have 5 primetime games in a season. They're saying we probably gonna get all of them. We getting all 5 Monday night footballs, Sunday night football, Thursday nights. We're gonna be on all of them.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, but I like us as an underdog. That's me. When everybody's talking about us, I feel like that's when we don't do our best. I feel like when nobody sees us coming, it's just like, oh, wait, the Jets might be doing that. That's when we kind of do our thing. When we're out front, it doesn't work out. But like I said, I got no choice but to get on board.
Well, let's hit the break real quick.
Yeah. Let's go to halftime, and we'll come back on Live by the 3 Sports podcast on the Evening Rush Network.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys, so you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
We're back. We are back with Live by the 3 Sports podcast on the Evening Rush Network. So, Ty, March Madness, man, college basketball, Division I, the NCAA tournament officially kicked off. Officially kicked off on Tuesday with the first 4 games. There were 2 games Tuesday night and 2 games last night, but today was the first day of the 64, with a bunch of teams jumping off. Games all day, started at 12, so it's a great time of year. My favorite time of year, still exciting, and had 2 big upsets today. Were you able to catch anything while you were at work today, or you
driving home? I did. Yeah. I just was checking some highlights. I did see how Virginia lost.
Say that again.
How Virginia lost.
Yeah, that was a rough one. It was, and they were up pretty much the whole game, Virginia doesn't really blow people out, right, with their style of play, but they were up, not double digits, but, around that 8, 9, for most of the game. And then Furman just kind of like kept it close, which, again, Virginia doesn't really blow people out. But then it got close and they had, they took the lead and then they tried to inbound the ball. And my man, threw that pass. And he's a great, this is a 5th-year player, yeah, he's good. He actually, when they did win it, and I can't remember what the play was, but when they won it, I guess he's a grad student. So 5 years ago, when Virginia won the national title that year, he actually made a really big play, like a smart play in the game, and he was a freshman then. So and he had a good season. I'm pretty sure he was an all ACC player. So he's a good point guard, 5th-year guy. And I'm assuming that he would say, well, I'm gonna just try to, there was like maybe 4 or 5 seconds left or 6 seconds. And his thought, well, I'll just throw it as high as I can. It'll take time off the clock. And he threw it and they bang 2 passes. And they said that kid that shot it isn't even like a great 3-point shooter. But honestly, when he lined it up,
that looked good.
As soon as he lined it up, I'm like, oh, he's making that, like, because everything perfect. And even as you saw it, the seams lined up, like, perfect end over end. Like, it was pure. As soon as he let it go, I'm like, oh, he made that. He knocked that thing. Yeah. That's,
How do you like has that ever happened to you?
Not on a pass like that. We actually had a game this year that it didn't end the game, but we were up 3 and got fouled and missed 2 foul shots, and then kid came off the miss, came down, bang, 2, 1 pass actually, and the kid knocked down a 3 to go into overtime, and the game actually went into double overtime, and we ended up winning. But not that scenario where you have the ball and turn it over and then somebody knocks down a 3, but similar, but it all hurts. But yeah, the way they did, and that's the thing, it's different from college. From the pros, kids are crying and the cheerleaders are crying, and you know what I mean? It's just different, you know what I mean? And it's heartbreaking to see it. You know, it's just a different vibe, you know, as much as people talk about, you know, what's going on with college basketball, with the kids getting the, you know, the NIL deals and it being a business and stuff like that. At the heart of it, man, it's still kids. You know what I mean? So it's hard to watch that when, you know, something like that happens. And then you got the one team that's, you know, it's the, you know, the shot of a lifetime, the play of a lifetime is great for that school, you know, Furman, you know, beating Virginia, you know, so that, you know, that's great, you know, but then you see the heartbreak on the other side and you got players on the other side crying and the cheerleaders crying, you know, it's rough, you know, it's tough. So, but, you know, kudos to Furman, you know, and that's what makes the tournament great is stuff like that happening.
What is your speech to the team? What would your speech be?
Listen, we had a great year, you know, congratulations to the seniors. You know, this is part of the tournament. It's a one shot, you know, I mean, it's the end of the season. You just lost. I mean, you can't, you know, what are you going to say? Oh, why did you throw that? You know what I mean? It's over. Like he's going to get the question when he goes to the press room. So, I mean, you know, he's going to be hearing about it on social media, which is unfortunate. You know, that's unfortunate that, you know, I'm sure there's going to be some Virginia fans that are going to be getting on the kid and, you know, saying stuff that's not cool. You know, hopefully he'll have more support than he has negativity. But, you know, that's going to be out there, you know, unfortunately, you know, listen, it's going to be on One Shining Moment, you know, all of that, you know what I mean? So
every year there's trauma, trauma.
Yeah, that's part of it, you know, so really, there's nothing to say. Like, you know, the coach, all the coach can do at that point is listen, just put your arm around him and say, hey, man, you had a great career. He won a national championship, which, you know, how many players can say they won a national championship? So, yeah, he had a bad play in that circumstance. But overall, you know, the kid's graduating from Virginia. He had a great college career, won a national championship. So, hey, man, like.
Did they have any timeouts?
I think they did. I think they did have a timeout. Yeah, it's just all around a rough. I mean, it was just rough because he didn't because the way he did it, there was a guy all the way up the floor, cross court, who he probably maybe if he had turned and he might have been able to get it up the floor to that guy. But I think, again, I didn't see a post-game interview or anything with the kid. I'm assuming that he just tried to throw it high and just say, you know, I'll just throw it high and try to get, let time expire and throw it, throw it high and throw it away from their basket. So they don't have enough time to bring it all the way back, and get a score at it. I'm assuming that's what his thought process was. But I mean, once he threw it, it didn't go that high and it didn't go that far. It was like, whoa. And like I said, all it took was, and it was like 7-8 seconds. So it was time. And the Furman player grabbed it, he caught it, passed it to one dude. That dude took a dribble, hit a head to somebody else. And then, like I said, and that kid wasn't even I don't know what his percentage was on the season, but I remember the commentator saying afterwards he wasn't even a great 3-point shooter, but he knocked that one down. Mm-hmm. Bang. And that's the thing. The one kid, he makes that turnover. He's living with that for the rest of his life, the grief for that. Again, now he won a national championship, so you can't take that from him. But there's so that kid has that, he's the negative side of the tail. And then that other kid, he's a legend. You know what I'm saying? Now, one kid goes to Virginia, one kid goes to Furman, but at Furman, that kid's a legend. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's what it is. One kid is, getting all the blame, another kid's getting all the glory. But that again, that's that drama, right? That's what makes the NCAA tournament great, And then a couple of games later, Princeton upset Arizona. Arizona was a high seed in the tournament. I think were they a 2 seed? I don't think they were a 1. Were they a 1 or were they a 2? I'm gonna look that up. Arizona.
There was 2.
They're a 2 seed, right? Yeah, they were 2 seed, right? So again, low scoring game. It was only 59-55 at the end. And again, Arizona was up for most of the game, but then, Princeton was always close within, 5 or 6 points. And then they went on a little run, in the middle of the second half, and they didn't take the lead until late, maybe within the last 3 minutes. And then you could just see Arizona just, got tight, and then Princeton, same thing they always do. Now you're getting a little desperate. You start overplaying, boom, they get you at the back door. You know what I mean? Just that same script. you know, and they had one play. I mean, I was watching it. I mean, they just ran like a simple. When I knew they were winning the game, they were up maybe like 1 or 2. And then they just ran like a simple middle ball screen. And this kid from Princeton came off of it and just, you know, nothing fancy, just drove it. And when he went up, you saw his shoulder hit the dude from Arizona right in the mouth and just finished it like it was nothing. Like, it's not Princeton, Arizona. It's just like, nah, I do this. You know what I mean? Like, he just took him, bang, hit him in the mouth, laid it up, and just ran back. I was like, oh, they got that one. They getting this one. Like, because it was nothing. Like, no fear, no hesitation. Pac-12 athlete versus an Ivy League dude. It was none of that. He just took him right to the basket and finished it on him. I was like, oh, they winning this game. They got him now. Because once they start making play, you know, once that team starts making plays like that, and the expectation is, okay, the bigger, stronger athlete versus the Ivy League kid. But once they make just like a mano play like that late in the game,
that's a tough play.
Oh, you saw the highlight? Yeah. When he made that one, I was like, oh, okay, they're getting this one. Yeah, that's exactly, just big boyed him. Ivy League, Princeton. Princeton dude, I taking you, laying you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but that's...
Who's the coach of Princeton?
His name is Mitch Henderson. And that, ironically, when Princeton, the big game was when Princeton beat UCLA, when they had Tyus Edney and all them guys, Toby Bell, all of that. He was a starting point guard on that team that beat UCLA. So, another Pac-10, Pac-12 now, but, that was the last time Princeton won a game in the NCAA tournament, was when they did that. And so now he's the coach, and they, beat a Pac-12 team again. So, history repeating itself. So, yeah, man, so I'm not sure. So what we got left on the docket for tonight. So we had, Alabama, the overall number 1 seed, rolled. They 96-75. They won. Kansas, number 1 seed, beat Howard 96-68. Missouri, was a 7 seed, but I like Missouri. I like their team. They won. Maryland over West Virginia. Arkansas beat Illinois by 10. Got 5 minutes left in Auburn versus Iowa. Auburn's up by 4. Duke is up on Oral Roberts, 17 with 9 minutes left. Texas up 9 against Colgate at halftime. Northwestern up 6. Boise State. Then you got Houston playing tonight at 9:20. Tennessee plays tonight. Penn State, Texas A&M. That'll be a good game. And then you got UCLA against UNC Asheville. So yeah, it'll be so maybe some potential for some upsets, but we'll see. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. But they said, after I forget what I think they said, after Furman beat Arizona, ESPN announced that 90% of their brackets were busted. Like, so, the little contest that they do. So only 10% of the brackets that entered still had everything right after that game. So, but can't go chalk all the time.
Probably all Furman brackets.
Yeah. Yeah. Or what it is? It's Furman brackets and people that just throw darts at the throw darts at it. All the experts, all the people that bring out the stats and do all of that and try to make it scientific, and their power ranking and their percentages and all that stuff like that. The people that pick like that, all their back brackets got busted, and the people, the Furman fans and the people that just pick, Furman wears purple. I like purple. I'm picking Furman.
Yeah, they got there's a commercial where there was a lady and somebody was saying something and she was like, Jayhawks? Chalk something? All right, I'm gonna pick
Right. Yeah. Sometimes, I like their mascot, so I'm gonna go with them. Yeah, man. But
what do you think about?
Do you fill out a bracket? Like, do you have one at your job? Do y'all do it? Okay.
No, I don't do that. I did in my other job, but not this job.
Yeah.
This job. What your thoughts on the John Morant coming back?
I mean, I got my fingers crossed for him. Like I said, I'm a fan. I like his game. I'm the one thing that I like to see with guys when they make a mistake is that they own it. You know what I mean? Like that they don't make excuses for it. They say, hey, look, man, I messed up. You know, I need to do better. I always, now, of course, that people can say that and actions speak louder than words, but I feel like when they at least own it, they have a chance to, you know, get better and, you know, and change things up. The guys that double down and try to blame everybody else and say people are picking on them and, oh, why y'all talking? You know what I mean? Try to change the direction of the conversation. I feel like those are the people that they're definitely going to keep getting into something because they just don't even see, you know, the error of their ways. So I'm glad to see that he did, you know, and he owned it, right? He could have just gone into hiding, not spoken to anybody. You know, I didn't see all of the interview, but he sat down with Jalen Rose, you know, and owned it, right? And said, listen, man, like, yeah, I got to be better. I got to do better. I got to change the narrative about what people are saying about me and some of the actions that I've taken. And, you know, they said he went to rehab and, you know, hopefully it's not, you know, a serious substance abuse, you know, thing. You know, I hope not, because that, you know, that's tragic. But you know, whatever help he needs to, you know, improve himself as a man, you know, most importantly as a person before you even get to the basketball. So at least for now, it seems like he's making the correct steps to address those things. And, you know, hopefully he can move forward positively. I think that, I don't know if the NBA announced, well, it was like an 8-game suspension or something like that. But then did they say it was a possibility that he could?
No, it was 8, but he already served 2. So
okay. Yeah. So right, so right, so you got the 8-game suspension. So you know, which, you know, and Memphis was a contender, right? Like, you know, they're a playoff team, so that definitely doesn't help him being out for 8 games. I haven't seen what their record has been since he's been out, or who they're facing in the games he's going to miss, and where that, you know, how that will shake out. But honestly, man, like that's not the most important. You know, as much as we want to make that out to be a big deal, at the end of the day, the most important thing is him getting right if he is having, you know, substance abuse issues or whatever the case is that led to, you know, some of the behavior. And he's, you know, but if he's owning it and, you know, addressing it and taking responsibility and wanting to change the narrative, then he's got a chance. So I hope that's what happens.
What kind of support you think he needs?
Well, see, I don't know exactly what the issue is. You know what I mean? Like on the surface, you know, on the surface is, to me, and we talked about this last week, on the surface or 2 weeks ago, to me, it's, you know, you need to be hanging out with different people. Your entourage or your crew, whatever you want to call it, like they're not helping you. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be running around with any guns. You shouldn't be pulling out a gun allegedly on anybody. You know, it shouldn't even get to that. You know, these situations should be handled by other people that are not you. And they shouldn't be running around going crazy doing things like this. You know what I mean? So to me, that's one circumstance is his, you know, the people he's associating himself with. You know, if you're going to be paying people to, you know, be around, then they got to do a job or get real security that knows how to handle situations and not, you know, pulling out guns on everybody that says something they don't like or, you know, whatever, like that, have more control over, you know, situations and know, okay, this situation isn't going good. We got to get out of here, man. You know, like, you know, that's what needs to, you know, change to me on the surface from my view from the outside looking in. Now with his own personal stuff, as far as, again, if there's a substance abuse issue, if that's what's causing him to act out or not think clearly about his surroundings or who and what, you know, what he's doing and where he's doing things and, you know, going on Instagram and, or is that a cop out? You know, is it just, you know, was it, you know, substance related? What's that?
You right over there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know if window, something going on over there, but I don't know if he has those issues or if it's, oh, let me just say I was drinking and that's why XYZ happened. That you know, I'm not going to qualify whatever his issues are because obviously I'm not there and I don't know that. But if that's what's contributing to it, then, you know, it's not an easy fix, but that's something that can be addressed. If it's not the case, then he's got to really address, you know, if that's the cop out and not the real reason, then he's really got to address what the real reason is that he's finding himself in these situations, which can be hard if it's your boys, if it's your family members and all of that. I get it. But you know, and it's sad. Like you see the situation with the I think he's a tackle. Javon Taylor, I believe his name is, from Georgia, the one that got caught up in the situation where 2 people died. And again, that situation is tragic all on its own. 2 people lost their lives, and you know they're not coming back, right? And he's a football player, and now, okay, it was an accident. He didn't do anything maliciously, but he made a mistake. He's trying to move forward with his life. Those people can't, unfortunately. But now he's trying to get into the NFL. He was a national champion, high rated at his position, first round pick, all of those things. He has a lot of stuff going on in his life. He goes to the NFL Combine, and they're saying his performance at the Combine was awful. They're saying he came in 10 pounds overweight, cramping up during the drills, looked slow, actually had to stop in the middle of some of the whatever workouts they were doing because he was winded. So he's out of shape. And it makes sense. Like, how can you really concentrate, between the legal stuff that might be going on, but just mentally, like, I was involved in 2 people losing their lives. You would hope that that's good. You don't want people's lives ruined, and again, 2 people lost their lives. You don't want somebody's lives ruined, but you hope that somebody has some sort of a conscience that it does, mean something to them that they were involved with something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So now he's, his draft status is going, so that's money that he's losing. And, now, will he probably still go to the NFL? Yes. You hope that he can mentally recover from it and not have lingering issues, but it's costing him already somewhat. Again, now, how important is that in the grand scheme of life, compared to the tragedy that happened? That's hard to say. Then you see the other situation with college basketball with the kid from Alabama, Brandon Miller, and they're saying that, I think he was at a press conference for the NCAA tournament, and Alabama played today. I didn't see how he did numbers wise, but they usually
score.
What's that? He didn't score?
He didn't score.
Wow.
But they blew him out by like 20.
Right. They still scored 96 points. But now, okay, he doesn't score. He's an NBA lottery pick. Still a lot of games we played, but didn't score. But they're saying that he's traveling with, he's at the press conference. So this isn't, out in the street or whatever. He's at a press conference with just reporters, and he's got armed, police officers or security guards around just him, flanking him as he's taking questions from the reporters. So the reporters ask, like, what's going on with this? And they're saying, the kid's been getting death threats. You know what I mean? Like, it's been, like from whoever, whether, I don't know if it's the, the victims of the people that were hurt, or just, people, trying to take advantage of the situation, of the tragedy that happened and just be idiots and, threaten the kid, and they don't even have anything to do with it. But, just he's got stuff swirling around him in the midst of him trying to win as a team, him trying to, prove his worth as a draft pick, all of that, and then you got, but again, somebody lost their life. So it's a lot, man, and again, these, as much money is involved in all of this stuff and all of that, and they should be adult, but they're kids, man. Like at the end of the day, they're kids, and it's, they make unfortunate mistakes, and they're still learning, they're still developing with real, and stuff happens with real world implications. And then again, you're talking about loss of life, but it's tough, man. That's tough. It's tough. It's, so the answer is, surround yourself with, I mean, that's easier said than done, right? But to me, it's like, yeah, you got to surround yourself with the right people. And that still doesn't prevent anything from happening and all of that. But I mean, I think at least you got to try to.
Yeah, to prevent certain things from happening.
Yeah, right. You got to at least try to, but then, like, the kid from Georgia, like, he's in the car with another football player and somebody that works with the team. Now, you decide to go drag racing or whatever you're doing, you can't necessarily say you're surrounding yourself with bad people or negative influence. I wouldn't go that far, but
I don't know if someone said something, but someone should have been like, nah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, right. For you individually, for who you are and what you have going, this is not a good idea for you to be drag racing. That's a I don't even know the word, that like a maybe nearsighted way to look at it. Like, okay, like it's not just about your draft status, why this is not a good idea. You could actually harm somebody.
And you're in an SUV.
And that's what ended up happening. So, so it could be that, it's unfortunate, unfortunate it was the people that were in the car with him, but you're speeding, you're dragging, it could have been somebody else. It could have been a pedestrian. It could, you know what I mean? Like that's why you don't do that. But
yeah, I think, just support is always good. Just surrounding them with people that have their best interests.
okay.
Like you said, it's not that much you can do if you have access to the world. You will, but you will hope you have somebody around to be like, nah, don't do that.
All right, so so you like to turn the temperature up on me, right? So you like to turn the temperature on me. What are your feelings about the comments that some people have made about Ja Morant's father and his role, or I don't know if it's his role in this or just necessarily the fact that he is around, but this type of stuff isn't happening. And then, of course, people point to, oh, well, how much of a father figure are you being? Like, you're just at the games, and you're posing with Usher, or you get into a fight with Shannon Sharp. And it's like, okay, you're doing that, but this is your son. He's still young. Like, are you just along for the ride? Are you mentoring him and trying to help him? And you're there. So, and you're older. So are you advising him, or are you just along for the ride too? Now, do you think that's a fair criticism, a fair statement to make, to criticize him that his son is doing these things? Or do you think that's a valid, and the incidents that he has been involved in? Do you think that, and then even an incident like posing with Usher is not an incident, but just that, him being around, but this stuff is still happening. Do you feel that that is a fair criticism?
Yeah, I mean, the Pops is only 45 years old, so he's not older than than us. I just say it's fair based off of the perception that he puts out there. I don't know what happens behind closed doors,
right?
But it appears that they're friends, and
right.
At some point you got to hold the line. Like, you shouldn't be doing this, or if you didn't know that was his father, you wouldn't know that was his father.
That's yes. From appearances, yes. Yes, that's fair.
And it should be, you should be able to distinguish father from son. You know what I'm saying? So I think it might be fair to say he has a little role in that. You know what I'm saying? But, we don't know what's being said behind closed doors.
Right. That's true.
But, we know certain people's fathers, you're not doing that just because you don't want to care. Forget the media.
Right.
You don't want to get the backlash from your pops.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Right. And then you see other sports parents that handle it a different way, like, say Richard Williams, or
do you think that
right, you know what I mean? Like, right.
You think the Ball family be going through this? Do you think their father would be having that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they haven't, right? But is that just their personality? Like,
but how are they raised, though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but see that's even like, that's a sociological, like, parenting thing. If the kid just goes off the rails, right? In a way, they go off the rails. How responsible are the parents for that? Yeah, you raised them. So you look at the Bulls, right? They just might have, there may be no difference in how they were actually raised, but maybe Lonzo and LaMelo, they're just chill. They don't want to play with guns. You get what I'm saying? So it may not be any different in the parenting per se, but just the personality of those kids. They might just be, okay, yeah, like, we were raised the same way, but I'm just not into that, so I'm not getting caught up in that. So
okay,
what's that?
But we witnessed him getting in their behinds, though.
Yes, but if at the end of the day, if LaMelo all of a sudden wants to start playing with guns, what's he going to do?
No, he can't do nothing. But
right,
ain't nobody gonna say that they friends.
Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Behind a couple times.
That's fair.
We haven't seen that from.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
You haven't seen it. I think if we saw that, then it'd be a little different. Like, all right. But we haven't, not saying that, once again, not saying it doesn't happen behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors, right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I guess we'll never know. But that's yeah. But I just think to me, it's 50-50. It's the people you surround yourself with, but it's also personal accountability. Like, at a certain point, man, like, smarten up. Like, let's smarten up. So, but now this was a great show, another great episode. So yeah, glad to be back and look forward to doing it again next week. Be more Midnight Madness going on, and hopefully no more tragic situations going on with these athletes. But yeah, this has been another great episode. So on behalf of Tyler, this is Coach Matt signing off on the Live by the Three Sports podcast. Again, please follow, subscribe, and follow us what we're doing on the Evening Rush Network. And we'll catch you again next week. Have a great week.
Peace.